This place, right here, should be secluded enough for me to browse through the diary in peace. I start quickly skimming the book, singling out sentences and paragraphs that look interesting, trying to get a general idea of what kind of person Agathon was. Or is, I hope. The more I read, the clearer the image of the person becomes. He's been working under the High Regent for 15 years. There is an underlying shame in the way he talks about tremor magic. He always describes himself as too slow on the uptake, too late to learn something, too much of an amateur. He was really into tying his self-worth to his wisdom. The entries, beginning in 2012, are terrifyingly regular. The handwriting is extraordinarily neat. There's absolute dedication to his studies is palpable. If there's anything to his unlife besides work, his relationship with the three important women he holds dear. The first is his master, Aisling Sturbridge, whom he reveres for her knowledge, stoicism, and willingness to experiment. I was hoping to find some details about her secretive work here, but no dice. Looks like he was willing to risk someone finding all about his inner life, not anything that could harm her studies. A good pupil, serving a good mentor, I'm jealous. Second is another warlock, his ex-lover, Juno, whom he feels guilty about. He had a conflict in which Aisling was involved. Having to choose between the two, chose Aisling. According to Agathon, there was never real love between him and Juno. First, it was just shared interest, and a growing disconnect, and ultimately, guilt which made him feel responsible for her. But maybe it's just excuses. Strikes me as the kind of person who spends most of his time inside his head. Doesn't sound like someone who could have a fulfilling romance with. Dakota. One day, Dakota might realize this. Anyway, last but not least, Agathon's mortal grandmother, Sylvia. She is the light of his life, and the person who took care of him after his parents died in a ritual murder. Not quite what I expected. Her family used to serve a cruel vampire in Mexico City, and it was retribution for their escape. It was the lead Tremere used to track him down, actually. It was keeping her alive for a long time, but a few months ago, her heart gave up. Agathon blamed his insufficient skills. Kind of man who carries the entire world on his shoulders. Left alone with Aisling, drowned himself in work, and eventually burned out. But it doesn't sound like Sylvia's death was the only event that triggered his depression spiral. There was some kind of incident back in 2019. It doesn't cite specifics. Another thing he was worried about writing down. It's all vague mentions of a person who made him fly too close to the sun. Whatever happened, it had the same effect as his grandma's death. New York stopped feeling like a home to him. It became alien, empty, grotesque. His words. I checked the first page. A recent photograph of him glued to the inner side of the cover. He's facing away from the camera, only showing his profile, striking a rather dramatic pose. At first, it looks kind of poserish to me. However, upon closer inspection, it seems like a goodbye photo. The final, melancholic glance he throws in your direction before disappearing for good. There's also a single black feather. No idea what it means. Something's written next to the photograph with a lot of flourish. It looks like a poem? More than annoyed. Sad. More than sad. Unhappy. More than unhappy. Suffering. More than suffering. Abandoned. More than abandoned. Alone in the world. More than alone. Exiled. More than exiled. Dead. More than dead. Forgotten. The Sedative, 1917. Marie Laurencin. Looks like he wrote it down recently. Might have resonated with his emotional state over the past few months. Most importantly, it seems to confirm his intent with this diary to me. General idea seems to be research will outlive him, so he doesn't even detail it. Still, he wanted some kind of tangible memory of who he was left for posterity. That's not all. Still a mystery to be solved. Quite a few pages toward the end are missing. Doesn't look like they were necessarily removed to redact information. Were torn off in a way that makes it clear the paper wasn't ever used. What's more, preceding pages are empty as well. Could it be that that's when it happens again? There's a bizarre shape in my peripheral vision.
Who's this? Do you think that's a woman?
Looks like
It looks like a woman to me.
it could be a man. I think I
Could
see a
be,
figure.
Jordan. Maybe it's Agathon.
Alright, how do I sound?
I can hear you.
A bit low, but I can hear you.
Let's be quiet, yeah.
Can I just talk louder? I can do that.
Okay, that works.
Better? Alright. Bleed.
I turned to catch a glimpse as fast as possible, but it's already gone. If my heart could beat faster right now, it would be jumping out of my chest. It's discomforting. Seeing these apparitions ever since I turned into this. The worst part is, I feel they were always there. Even as a mortal, they were there sometimes in the corner of my eye, disappearing when I tried to look directly at them. It made me think it was just my mind playing tricks on me. But when you're part of the Night Clan, there are times they don't disappear. There are times they talk. There are times they try to force you to do their bidding. And worst of all, I don't want to think about it right now. Still, in my experience, there aren't exactly, consciously malevolent. One in particular was trying to help. I opened the book on the first empty page and look around to make sure nobody's staring. I cut myself using a razor I keep in my pocket just in case. A deep slice. I just want to let a droplet of vitae fall onto the page. That's when the letters appear.
James.
Look at me.
Is it tragic?
Yeah, I think it's tragic.
Oh, it's okay. Look at me, a tragic clown. No longer confident that any of my people can be trusted. I turned into a fucking spick. A chimera spick, that is. What are you working for, boy? Laugh at me. Ridicule is all I deserve. Come on. Don't just stand there like an idiot. You want to say something, say it.
James, may you turn down your gain slightly? Just a smidge.
Sorry, give me just a moment.
It's okay. You sound better now.
Oh. I'll try to sit back, maybe that'll help.
What the hell? This is the last thing unexpected to happen. This diary is haunted. A series of quickly changing sentences and images, pose of shadows and blood, give me a window into another reality. It's not an objective view. It's like scattered scattered remnants of emotions, similar to a half-remembered dream, full of holes, but honest expression of one's mind. Might it be interacting with me? A hypothesis, but I don't know why else it would show me Calihan. And was that Ellis Island?
Right.
This time, I don't even look in this direction. Voice makes me feel oddly confident about what I need to do. I pick up the feather that was in the diary and dip it in my vitae. Then I write down contempt. Let's try contempt.
Jordan.
You sold out your ideals long ago, old man. You're a shithead. A coward. A bigot. A failed leader hated by everyone serving you. Of course I have nothing but contempt for you.
James?
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm talking to myself.
It's okay.
Good. Finally, some honesty. Now we can talk to each other like equals.
It doesn't feel like this is the way these events took place. More like a way to explore Agathon's emotional truth about the way it all unfolded. In any case, the diary is reacting to me, and some shade of the truth is better than nothing. A handy tool. If I use it right, I might find some clues that could aid me in my investigation. There are a few thoughts floating around in my head, like alien entities trying to make their way out. Is that also an effect of the diary's power? Try. Death.
Is it a fear of death that drove you to contact me?
Don't be ridiculous. I've been ready to die since before you even came out of your mama's womb, boy. No, I fear something worse.
Still slightly loud.
So, when you heard about their plot,
Yes, I wasn't afraid it would fall and leave me for final death. I was afraid it would succeed.
God damn it, what are the two of you talking about? Why did you meet? Explain.
I shared my intel with you. Is there anything you know that I might need to know?
You've gotten yourself into a giant mess, boy. You think what you know is bad? You don't even know half of it.
Okay, that's better.
But if you want to resist, first off, you're gonna have to bite in the hand that has been feeding you for so long.
All the scribblings disappear. Other set starts taking their place. The diary conjures an image of a completely different place. I instantly get a feeling of deja vu. I process the space differently. Atmosphere is different, more familiar, homely. But this is unmistakably the Tremere chantry I visited earlier tonight. Standing there is just the person I'd expect. Looks like that's it for my meeting with Calihan. God damn it. But what if the person he was talking about and eliciting a strong emotional reaction from was Aisling? The diary awaits my next command. Why?
High Regent. Why?
Why? You can't be serious. These experiments need resources, and I wouldn't be able to provide all the needed materials in a reasonable time frame all by myself. It's quid pro quo, and it's not like my research isn't helping all kindred in a dang run.
I don't feel comfortable being a part of this at all. I always thought we were busy with science, not politics.
These are the words of a child, Agathon. Science has always relied on politics, and politics on science.
Not like this, High Regent.
Don't embarrass me, Agathon.
Not like this.
The moving scribblings disappear again. I hastily let another drop of blood fall on the page. What appears this time is yet another familiar face.
Ah, yes, Agathon. What is it that you wanted to tell me?
You pick Jordan? It's Agathon.
Oh. Go to hell. Go to hell. I beg your pardon.
The harpy vanishes.
Yeah, right. As if I could ever gather courage to say this to your face. But the least I can do is try and stab you in the back.
The diary ends here. I spilled a little more vitae on the page, but it no longer works. I suppose that's it. Still no idea what happened to Agathon. Is he alive or is he dead? Alive. Maybe Dakota is right. I've been a glass half empty buzzkill too often. Brace for the worst, but hope for the best. The way he left his diary for someone to carry on his work, and he strategically left inside it, this all planned out. About it. I choose to believe I will see him again one night. Maybe I'll even compliment that jacket he has. In any case, I think it's time to pay a visit to the art hole. I know Arturro tends to leave the... Is it Elysium?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Leave the Elysium quite often to take in some fresh air and message people on his BlackBerry. So I just wait until I see him. The tactic works. He's surprised to see me.
Miss Swinsky, shouldn't you be busy with your investigation?
I am, actually, which is why I've come to see you.
That's peculiar. Because I'm absolutely sure I have nothing to do with this case. Aren't you barking up the wrong tree?
That's what I'm here to find out. Assumed you'd want to see I'm thorough.
Yes, sure. I suppose it's commendable. What is it then?
I have reasons to believe that in the last few months, you, the High Regent Iceline Sturbridge, and her child Agathon were involved in a secretive scheme. Its expression changes ever so imperceptibly. The difference is palpable to me. For the first time ever, he looks at me as a person. Till now, I was just an amusing diversion. Now I'm something more, and he doesn't like it.
What gave you this idea?
I'm not at liberty to say. If you really want to know, the sheriff. Of course, Qadir doesn't know anything. He's the only one in the court that Arturro has repeatedly failed to influence. Think twice before approaching him.
I fail to see how this matter relates to the task at hand.
I have every reason to think Baron Calihan was involved. He might have had grounds to fear for his life because of said scheme. He's tense now. Do I have the upper hand?
Miss Sawinski,
Please answer the question.
the delicate matter you are speaking of has absolutely nothing to do with Baron Calihan's grim fate. It's a strictly confidential affair. It would be wise of you to stop pursuing it.
It would be wise of you to fuck off. I can't be an investigator if I'm not allowed to properly investigate.
This matter is unrelated to your work and should be treated as such. I am 100% convinced Prince Panhard would agree. If you insist on pursuing it further, we can take it up to the prince and see if her stance differs from mine. But I think you aren't as naive as to waste your time this way. And besides, I'd certainly want you to present the basis for your discovery to the court. Could you handle it?
Maybe if, I have no response. God damn it. This is revenge for invoking Qadir, isn't it?
I thought so.
Is the High Regent inside?
She is. But don't worry. I'll make sure to tell her not to waste your precious time, Miss Sawinski.
So that's how you're gonna play it, you bastard. Well, I guess you win this round. Strategic retreat is my only choice here. I don't have a full deck of cards yet. Just you wait. In a few nights, I'll take my leave then.
Yes, do that. And if I may be so blunt, focus on the investigation avenues that aren't utterly imbecilic and suicidal to pursue, miss. I bid you adieu.
I curse him out under my breath as he disappears inside the art hole. This avenue really is cut off for me, at least for now. 3 names left on the list. Still have some leads to go by, but for now, it's getting late. I should go to St. Patrick's and file my latest report. When I reach the cathedral, Father Leonard is already there. Not exactly the most punctual person, so I always feel relieved to see him from afar. Time to move in and move out. Noticed by Benoit.
Will this be all?
I guess so. I rattled off most of it in a hurry on the way here. Come up with a more exhaustive report tomorrow night.
Busy?
Looks that way, Father. A wayward girl has finally been recognized by her superiors.
Here we go again. Of course he had to sneak up on me. If even you heard about that, I guess it means every single kindred in the 5 boroughs knows.
Not yet expert when it comes to knowing who's saying what and where. The last time we met, you promised to share the knowledge with me.
Yeah, I was kind of lying.
That's the 9th commandment broken, Father. Junior Scolder.
Don't involve me in your silly games, Benoit. The way you fall for obvious lies stems from your biggest failing in communication.
And that is...
You only pay attention to the what that's being said, and not the how.
That's...
Ooh, yeah, motherfucker! Suck it. Annihilated with an absolutely flawless diagnosis.
Child, don't make me regret siding with you.
I'm sorry, Father. Won't happen again, especially if you promise to keep verbally destroying that clown.
You're in a strange mood tonight, child. Go get some sleep.
Yes, we'll continue this tomorrow.
I'm not showing up here tomorrow.
Yes, you are. Stop breaking the 9th commandment.
See you around, Julia.
He says my name in a sickly sweet way that gives me the creeps. Out of Father Leonard, do my best to ignore Benoit and head for Dakota's place. Finally, my haven.
Hey,
Hey,
another tough night.
you don't know the half of it.
You want a drink?
She points to her neck. I manage to summon a faint smile. I'd love to, but you know we can't do this too often. Maybe tomorrow.
You want to talk then?
Guess so. Just not about work, okay? I sit down next to her.
Not about work. Got it. What's on your mind then?
Past, I guess.
Meaning?
How spotty our memories are. Despite that, that's what we build our convictions on. Sorry, it's so banal. I'm just tired and frustrated.
Well, let's talk about something more specific then. What do you remember about the time we first met?
Time we first met?
Yeah,
Shit. Not a lot, actually. Those were gloomy, anxious days. I think I subconsciously replaced most of them with blank spaces. I remember you trying to paint your hair black.
ouch. Don't dig up my trauma now, okay?
I remember that when we first talked, we talked about Sue.
Don't say Hatsu. It's low-key racist, I think.
Nobody ever knows what you mean by house. That show with the asshole doctor. No, Japanese haunted house horror film that feels like it was written by a 7-year-old with ADHD.
In the best way.
In the best way, duh.
We were arguing which characters from the movie both of us are.
You were Kung Fu, and I ended up as Prof. It's rude.
You were dressed up like a total nerd. Not my fault. What was the deal with that suit?
I liked that suit.
Yeah, it was okay. I remember helping you out with graphic design whenever you needed it.
Funny. I remember you needing help with rain as something that tended to happen far more often. Yeah, we developed a fun shared aesthetic with similar surface concerns, and it bonded us together even before we made sure we were fully compatible deep down as human beings. Hell, I'm still not sure we are, especially now with me not being a human being anymore. But hey, at least we both agreed that this bedroom feels super comfy. I remember always feeling left out of your social circles. Always knocking at the door from the outside.
Oh, forget it. My social circles were full of out-of-touch, snobby assholes.
Yeah, but it felt weird how much they avoided me. It was that one time with Isabella. All of a sudden, one thing Isabella said at that one party flashes in my mind with startling clarity. After midnight, in that kitchen, without context, she just walked up to me and she will isolate you, she will suck you dry, and she'll move on to the next target. That's the only thing she knows.
Ugh, don't remind me of Isabella. She always resented me.
It's been so long. It's all baseless conjecture now, but what if she really did isolate me on purpose back then? Nah, the glass is half full. Past is Schrodinger's cat and all that. To believe in the positive version of events. Come to think of it, friend or foe, if you don't believe they're on your side, they will know it one way or the other. It's 100% certain they won't be on your side. Maybe optimism really is the way. Forget Isabella. Let's just drop this talk. Frustrated enough. I need a reset.
Sounds like a good idea. Off to sleep?
Yeah, gotta get ready to go back to hell tomorrow.
All right, I'll get back to work.
You're working remotely again?
Yeah, my office is going insane for so many reasons, and I'm getting cabin fever too.
Get some sun. It will be good for you.
Look who's talking. Good night, sunshine.
Night. A few minutes after I wake up, I see a message slipped under the apartment's front door. Here? Up. Looks like he's got a short window to meet me in Queens. 2 hours from now. Blitz Point. A single suggestion? Ready for action. Fine then. I will. The best way to do it would be to clear my mind. Walk without thinking. Reset the framework. Some fresh air should do it. Maybe a chance meeting with someone could get me out of this mental rut. I look at the world from a different angle for a while and improve my mood. Although when it comes to improving one's mood, nothing beats some crimson red pouring down my throat. Not to mention, these cigarettes taste best with a full stomach. Let's go. Hide and seek for dummies. I'm sure there are better ways of finding solitude than wandering aimlessly in the endless downpour. There are nights when I dive straight into a... Is it tizzed? Thizzed?
We'll go with that. This.
Okay, into a thizzed crowd and vicariously enjoy their sweat, hypnotic moves, and mindless self-indulgence. My body starts to resonate with the relentless wall of sound. One disappears, and I'm raptured into a perfect kind of isolation. Then there are those nights when I crash on the couch while Dakota goes on a rant about something so far removed from my area of interest. I zone out, enjoy the privacy of my own thoughts. Then there are moments like this one. Nights when I just want everyone to shut the fuck up so I can think. Those nights, I usually end up mindlessly strolling along the rain-swept streets before inevitably ending up at Big Beat Burger. Or at least that used to be the norm, but before this whole mess. Thank you. Lately, even that kind of solitude seems out of my reach, especially when I'm being tailed by a poor man's Ethan Hunt on a crash diet. He's been following me for 10 minutes, and so far he has managed to bump into an empty newsstand, make enemies of several cab drivers, and even got bitch slapped by a living statue while trying to blend in. As he shortens his distance, I grab a nearby lamppost and swing myself around like Gene Kelly, in the moment to quickly turn around and look right at him.
Tom can do.
Oh, hell no.
He springs up into the nearest alley. I wonder if he thinks that somehow I did not notice. Just keep walking. Ugh, fuck that guy. It's not like he'll keep following me after this fiasco. I'm about to walk away when an obnoxious voice, not belonging to the creep, catches my ear. It's coming from the same alley. It's followed by a loud crash from sounds like the metal side of a garbage dumpster, followed by a painful moan. Maybe the stalker got himself in trouble. Check it out. I should let that creep deal with this himself. I should, but I won't. Can't have a moment's rest in this goddamn city, can I? As I barge into the alley, I notice two hooded jocks bullying my scrawny stalker. While the big guy wrestles with a high-tech smartphone, the sleeker one keeps punching. How nice of them to share responsibilities. Dominate, turn them against each other. The roughneck notices me, drops the phone and looks into my eyes. Mistake. He freezes in place as I bore into his mind. Grab the little guy and keep running east as far as you can. The thug stiffens like it's the first time a complex idea has ever popped into his head. He turns towards his mortified buddy, keeps him kicking and screaming, and takes off like a cartoon caveman with a kidnapped bride slung over his shoulder. Their struggle seems so comically out of place in this dingy alley, I can't help but chuckle. I pick up the peculiar smartphone on my way over to the stalker. It doesn't take a genius to figure out it belongs to him. The screen is locked and glitches oddly as soon as I touch it. No surprises there. The stalker seems relieved, but at the same time, unnerved by the fact I'm holding his property. He tries to exhibit some confidence, but his trembling voice undermines the effort.
Listen, I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything, but I'd like that back. It's not like you can really use it anyway, right?
The nervous smirk on this already punchable face kinda makes me wish I had left him to his own devices. I'm of two minds about handing over something I could use to gain leverage over the sleazy asshole who's been stalking me for God knows how long. Tease him a little. What? This little thing right here?
Yes. That little thing. The back.
Are you sure you want it back? Looks so tasteless and dorky. Overwhelmingly dorky. Wearing a Star Trek t-shirt to an opera, dorky. Like, Elon Musk probably thinks it's chic and cool, dorky.
I ain't joking.
Did you see that? I almost dropped it right into the storm drain. Shit, that was close.
For fuck's sake, come on! Boss will disembowel me on the spot if something happens to that phone.
Say the magic word.
Jesus fucking... Yeah, okay. Please. Please, can I have it back?
The second he tries something, it goes back into my hands and under my heel. Here you go. He catches the phone with the liveliness of a little boy getting his first video game console.
Thanks, Jules. I really appreciate that.
He knows my name and makes a point of bragging about it. Not particularly subtle. Why the fuck are you following me? With a Camarilla, did somebody tell you to watch my steps? He looks confused when I mention the sex name. I realized after the fact it was probably a really stupid thing to say to a random creep.
Not sure what a Camarilla is. Sounds tasty, but my boss, he's an important guy. You want to be on his good side, let me tell you. Said he doesn't tell me anything I don't need to know. All I know is he wants me to keep an eye on you. Night.
Something, you're being watched, something, powerful friends. That's the best you got.
You're not getting anything else from me. Want to finish what those alley rats started? Go ahead. But you'll be wasting your time, Jules.
Loser seems to brace for a hit, contouring his face into a confusing grimace which was probably meant to express bravado. I'm going to give him the satisfaction. Fair enough. But call me Jules again, and this time when you lose your phone, you'll need a proctologist to help you find it.
Inky, ain't ya? I'll see you later.
Won't if you know what's good for you. He doesn't respond. He limps away. I realize that the rain is slowly laying up, and that once more, left with more questions than answers. C'est le refrain de ma vie. I decide to get on with my night and focus on the relief that comes with realizing I'm not the voyeuristic object of some creep's interest. There, done that, wouldn't recommend. Time to get a move on. It's time to get back to work. I step inside the subway and head for my meeting with Qadir. Oh, for fuck's sake, I thought you were kidding!
Nope. I couldn't reach her, but I know for a fact Hope is there.
It's pointing at the direction of a double spiral building. And what is she doing there?
I understand she's the current leader of the company. Acting CEO, to be exact.
No. You're pulling my leg. Of all the places in this city. A company that brags about creating IT solutions of the future, always surrounded by rumors of monstrous workers' abuse, all sorts of ethical violations, trade information with governments, and ending the career of a certain promising journalist and professional fuck-up pretending to investigate them seriously.
You might be able to ask her both professional and personal questions. 2 birds with 1 stone.
I don't get it. Last time I checked, the company belonged to Kara Montgomery.
I'm told she quietly took a sabbatical a few months ago, and it sure looks like the kind of sabbatical you don't come back from.
Sudden change of heart? Qadir rolls his eyes.
The Clan of Kings is not exactly known for having regrets about their ruthless pursuit of power, is it?
I remember I was shocked when I first learned that one of my nemesis back in my old life was a vampire all along. I realized her position made her untouchable to me was beyond mad. Well, whatever happened, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. What about her brother Jesse?
You're asking me? Last I checked, you were the expert on this company. I just handle the basic intel for you, even though I shouldn't even really be here.
Yeah, and I hope you realize I am grateful.
You better be.
So, is Hope just another corporate shark?
Well, she is the child of Carter.
Theatrical pause. He smiles as he sees me wince.
But very much unlike him. He took her in for her particular, multifaceted talents related to the internet, knowing he's hopelessly behind the times in that regard. I hear she's been unruly, though.
Well, unruly is good. We're with unruly. So you're telling me she might not be a stuck-up startup bitch?
Language. As I've told you a few times now, when it comes to the internet, just assume I haven't the slightest idea.
I'm getting there myself. I haven't been able to check my email for 5 months. I have no idea what the kids at BBB are talking about most of the time. Oh my god, I might be getting old.
Don't worry. The moment you realize you don't give a damn about most fads you would have cared about years ago is a liberating one. Been there, done that, at the beginning of the 20th century.
Old.
Anyway, you'll probably hear Hope's story straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have much time, so I'll get straight to the point. You shouldn't be looking at anything in the main building. It's just a front. Ignore it. What you want to do is use the elevators to get to the lowest floor of the building.
I heard stories about the double-spiral basement, but I had no idea what to make of them. Every source told me a different rumor.
Did any of them tell you a rumor about an army of underground ghouls?
No, but I'm all ears.
Double Spiral employs an army of ghouls as a cheap workforce. They work and live underground, away from prying eyes, with lesser rights than regular Cyan employees. Perfect for business.
Wow. I'm actually speechless for a second. I had profoundly low expectations of that company. Every time I learned something new about what's going on behind the scenes, still surprised at the level of scumbaggery at play.
I'll leave the moral judgments to you, expert. In any case, you need to reach room number 507, where the CEO supposedly resides.
And then...
Get Hope to answer your questions.
his old-timey flip phone vibrates.
Speaking of, if you've got any left for me, it's now or never. I'm needed at the art hole now.
What's his security? How is security?
Ah, yes. Good question. As far as I know, it's cameras, body heat sensors, and some electronic locks.
Sounds like, with some luck, I might manage to infiltrate the building as nothing but a glitch in the system.
A glitch might still provoke an investigation, so be careful. It is rare that our curses turn into blessings. When it seems they have, it's usually a trap.
I will keep that in mind.
And keep your eyes peeled for the ghouls.
The phone vibrates again.
Well, that's it for me. Arturro is pestering me to show up at the Elysium 5 minutes ago.
Tell him I kindly suggest he should go fuck himself.
Not in 1,000 years. Well, good luck with your mission, soldier.
With a mock salute, he disappears inside his car and drives away. Nothing left for me but to head in. Still, I'm anxious. 2 approaches to choose from, and whichever I pick, I have to stick with it. If I force my way in and assert my authority, cop style, that should make an impression. Bad bitch coming in with an entire court behind her back, bluffing her way to victory. Sneaking in and politely asking for cooperation seems like the less disruptive, more me option. It's not like being me has taken me anywhere thus far. Shit. Kinda wish I was still stuck in my routine where I didn't need to be doing things like developing a personality. It's a bit of a coin flip, honestly, but I gotta make a choice here. How do I approach double spiral? Better stay covert. Being aggressive is not me. I don't even want to think about the headaches I'd have to deal with. The less disruptive I am, better the chance they won't get pissed off at me. And I do need hope to be cooperative. This good cop approach should pay off eventually. Alright, let's do this. I cloak myself in shadows and let my instinct take over. The lobby isn't well lit, so it's not hard to get behind the lone security guard. He does notice something is wrong with the security cameras and he hits display a few times. Once he's done, I'm already inside an emergency staircase and making the descent. The doors to the deepest floor are locked. It takes just a bit of brute force. I'm inside. Hello, double spiral. You wouldn't see me again, huh? Assholes. I look around and find an emergency evacuation map. Bullseye. Looks like all the information I need is here. There it is. Room 507. Someone comes around. Looks like one of Hope's nerdy ghouls is here to sniff around. I'm already in the shadows. Slink away as she starts patrolling the corridor, checking if everything is okay. Cameras, body heat sensors, electric locks. So, I'm managing. I remain cautious, just like Qadir would want me to, but it's surprisingly easy for me to avoid security. Progressing toward room 507 is far easier than expected. I reach the double spiral offices where, just like Qadir said, hordes of ghouls are slaving away for their company. Deep learning, spyware, social media manipulation, yada yada. The important thing right now is everyone is staring at their own screen, so it's easy for me to keep sneaking. Aside from the fact she still seems to be on my trail, slowed by the fact she's thorough in her search, to pick up the pace. And there it is, the final corridor. Time to announce myself. I slowly walk to the end of the corridor. It is room 507. The door looks harder to take care of than the other ones in this place. I won't be able to take care of it the same way I did the others. The door to the office of the current double spiral CEO. This fucking company. I get pissed off, but I'm trying to control it. There's a camera by the door. If she knows what to look for, she can probably see I'm here on her screen. But just to make sure, I knock on the door. Hope, I'm a Camarilla detective and I will need you to answer some questions. Hope, I know you're in there. Open the door. I will not leave until you do. Here on the behalf of the Sheriff of New York City. Hope? I keep pounding on the door and calling her name. After a minute or so, a voice rings out on the intercom.
This thing on? I guess it is. Alright. Write your message loud and clear. I'll meet you in the office. I'll be right there. Looks like you made it past the court. Nastya. Back to the office and keep her company. She's probably beyond pissed about you looting the grass. Don't make it a big deal, okay? Thank you for your cooperation. I'll be right there. What's up?
On the one hand, clothes you could reasonably expect to find in any CEO's wardrobe. On the other, a body covered in tattoos, flashy jewelry, dyed hair, and wild makeup. The thought that she might be yet another CEO playing the nonconformist crosses my mind, but she strikes me as someone who's more than happy to live in her own little bubble. Still, I won't be fooled. She is the boss of Double Spiral.
So, how did you find me?
Sheriff Qadir al-Asmai did. You'd have to ask him. I take out a new cigarette without thinking.
Then you can voice Nastya.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. You can't smoke in here, lady.
Just let her.
Don't treat me like I'm your enemy. I come in peace. Deep, relaxing drag. When did you realize I was here?
Right at the start, there was a momentary laser malfunction. Lasted a second or two. Hasn't tripped an alarm, but I guessed something was off.
That's it?
Hunches have gotten me every job I've ever had. Hunches saved my life anytime I got into a messy situation. These days, the reality is too complicated to rely on anything else.
A better head of security than Nastya, and her lunches are the main reason why. They're like 6 cents.
A corporate rebel, huh? Wouldn't take you for a brutal enforcer.
I mean, duh, that's the idea. You want to be an unexpected threat.
I mean, the whole rebel aesthetic versus the whole bloodthirsty corporate dog thing meant to be a disguise.
Nah, I've always been into alternative shit and hating the system. And I've been dressing like this for a while, long before I got a taste of hope.
No moral confusion about it? Nastya shrugs.
Lady, in this city, we're all corporate dogs in one way or another. I just cut out the middleman. More money for me, more time to pursue my own thing.
So you're a sellout.
Please, check my bio of any alt music icon who presents themselves as a radical. Their parents? Always these rich fucks. Military, CIA, predatory loans, old money, whatever. And they never own it. Always squirming anytime someone asks about the position of privilege they've used to sell their maverick image. Me? I have to get my own hands dirty to get anywhere, so I will.
Well, surprise, I actually get her. Cynical attitude is too tempting.
Lovely chat, girls, but I'd love it if you saved it for later. I'm CEO now. I have a lot of duties I must pretend to handle.
I just need to ask a few questions.
Sure, yeah.
Call me if you need me. I've got a weird hunch about this one, too.
Don't worry, I'll disappear as quietly as I arrived.
Yeah, I'd prefer to be sure that you left, lady, so that I can report it to my boss.
We'll talk to security later. Don't worry about shit happens. For now, take 5.
Nastya leaves, and I'm left alone with Hope in the corner of the office. It feels funny to stand here in front of you.
Oh, and why is that?
You people had me fired from my job before I was embraced.
I see. You're that, Sawinski girl from, Lodestar.
Yeah.
Somehow, I never put 2 and 2 together. So, you're the Luxembourg rep in the city now, huh?
As she's talking to me, she keeps tapping at her phone with terrifying speed. I don't feel like I have her full focus and it's getting on my nerves. Just so you know, I have no idea why you've taken Kara Montgomery's place, and I doubt you'd tell me, but the bitch deserves to burn in hell.
Hell yeah, she does.
Wait, did you just admit?
Hold your horses. No, Jesus. This is why normal CEO pay for PR people and talk for them. I only agree that she is a horrible person in every way that counts. Nothing more.
Does she know that's what you think of her? Did she let you take her position in the first place? What?
I will just cut through the bullshit, okay? Miss Lodestar, I guess this is about Jesse and Kara covering his creepy ass. You spent months in this case and you take some closure.
Pretty much.
Well, here's your closure. Double Spiral has severed practically all ties with them. They don't work here. They get no company money. They probably won't even show up here again. The company is not their circus anymore, and the workers are not monkeys. I'm in charge now. So, yeah. If there's anything you'd like from me, I'm all ears.
It wasn't just Jesse and his sister. The company has ingrained structures of abuse and immoral.
I've ordered internal investigations in adults. Everyone related to those illicit activities was disciplined. Legal actions, firings, and rebukes, all depending on the severity of their misdemeanors. I don't have a stomach for all the creepy corporate shit, so I'm trying to steer the ship in the right direction. Don't know what else I can tell you.
For fuck's sake. No matter how I look at it, seems like she's done everything I hoped to achieve. The Montgomery clan is over. The queen bitch, a symbol of everything that's wrong with tech CEOs, is gone. See, that perverted, embezzling son of a bitch is gone. I should be glad. So, why is there a sinking pit in my stomach? This doesn't feel right.
Probably not, but hey, I look at this company like the mafias in gangster movies. You don't really win by dismantling one. Another one will just quickly take its place. You can only win by ensuring the organization gets the best possible leader. So, in Double Spiral's case, the best you can hope for, no pun intended, is me.
The biggest case in my professional life, solved by some weirdo who fucked Kara and Jesse over in presumably underhanded ways. Doesn't get more anticlimactic than this. Fucking hell. I want to ask her how she did it. How would she tell me? All I can guess is she's an outcast who decided to get her hands dirty and obtain power to do something she considered good. Something I've always been afraid to do.
Anyway, I feel for you, but I have a lot of work to do. So, if this wasn't just a trip down memory lane and you have other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace, okay?
I feel like a car just ran me over, but I need to keep my shit together. Right. A few days ago, the Anarch Baron was found dead in his office. Familiar with the case?
Douglas Calihan. Oh, of course I'm familiar. Every kindred online is talking about it.
And what are they saying?
They're accusing everyone. I mean, it's the internet.
Are they accusing you?
Why would they do that?
On the peculiar note in Calihan's remains, it had your name on it.
Huh?
What can you say about this?
Nothing. I never met the guy. I've never even seen him. He wasn't my crowd.
And why would he have a note with your name in his pocket?
Why were Walt Disney's last written words? Kurt Russell? No clue.
I watch her closely. Nothing suggests she's hiding anything. Well, the note actually contained 3 other names, nothing else. Agathon, D'Angelo, Becca. Are you getting any bells now? Her finger, which hasn't stopped moving across the phone touchscreen since I first saw her, freezes.
Yeah, it kinda does actually. It's a short list of promising, unaffiliated kindred that was making rounds in New York City a few months ago, in case anyone needed to be a hero for hire. I didn't know Calihan had it. I know Sophie Langley did, as well as a few Primogen. Not sure about anarchists.
Who could have prepared this list?
One of the local information brokers.
Short but telling pause.
Anonymous.
How anonymous?
Sort of anonymous.
She's obviously conflicted about whether she should tell me. Maybe she's pretending so that I warm it out of her. And a good sport ever since I walked through her door. Maybe appealing to her sense of morality will work. I really need your help. I'm going to prevent the tensions between the local anarchs and the court from escalating, and every lead helps. She briefly considers her options. Gives up.
It's my sire, Qadir Vanderweyden.
Oh. He's brokering information?
Everyone knows becoming the Prince of New York is his ultimate goal, and that he wants to make friends in all high places, sharing useful intel and pretty effective way to achieve that.
So you're telling me that he, Malkavian Primogen, sold this list to an anarch baron?
Sure looks like it.
Why would he suggest his own child to somebody?
To have a person on the inside. Just another way to further his information web.
Wouldn't they realize you two are close?
They're strongly going around us. He left some alone, and I hate his guts. Well, at least half of that is true.
She's talkative. Probably sees me as a way to undermine Carter. See how much further I can push her. Huh? I was wondering how someone like you could control a company like Double Spiral. Suppose a friend in high places would explain it.
Yeah, lucky me.
Not happy about being a boss? Leading one of the biggest IT companies in the country?
A boss, huh?
She stares at dozens of displays on the wall in front of her.
Do you remember the Y2K era internet?
Since I barely remember the internet at all, can't really use it. But yeah, I guess I sort of remember. Forums, GeoCities, browser wars, all those handmade amateurish web pages.
It was a golden age. Everyone was welcomed by to freely express their creativity and obsessions in the abstract new frontier. No formulated rules. Every site had a distinct new universe to explore. You know, as a kid, for some reason I kept saving every web page that moved or changed me in some way. I don't even know why I did it, but today, a folder with these is one of my greatest treasures. Fast forward to today, I'm the boss of a company that has one overarching goal: steer the online narrative in every possible way that benefits the Camarilla. And because the online world is so fucked up now, I can do it using only 5 websites or so. Every day, I deploy thousands of unbelievable sock puppies to force some relief of the masses. Right now, they're being managed by these ghouls. Soon, they will be partially managed by Al. Basically, an all-American version of the Chinese 50-cent party. A new pattern of public opinion guidance. Ever since I was seen, I pretended to be different people online for fun. Aping the posting patterns of others has somehow turned out to be horrifying good at. I became even better at it after the embrace. Something about the voice of Malkov in my head. After several years, I became a one-person internet empire. I could impersonate anyone. Add Jdbutler, a humble florist from Katamogia who strives to share positive energy in their audience using photos of beautiful bouquets, motivational quotes, and the occasional The Office gif. At Volva Hopov, a single mom from Bergen who records all these trained women must bonkers spend seemingly every waking moment of her life having to throw anyone in disgrace. At Polygon on Classics, a 19-year-old kid from Utah who keeps posting a Y2K 3D render of poor proportion, scantily clad ladies and telling his audience to remember what they look to you. Somehow, this talent got me here, where it's no longer fun, but work. Work I usually entrust with these ghouls because of all my duties. I want out before my entire fucking mind gets monetized. But, Qadir won't have that. So, I'll keep doing my best. For both him and Double Spiral's investors.
So that's why she wants me to look at him. I assume most of your operations focus on New York City.
A lot of them, yeah.
How do you imitate a New Yorker voice with these sock puppet accounts?
Living in Manhattan and being mentally unstable makes this shit easy. To a normal, adjusted person from outside the city, everyone here seems mentally unstable. Ever watched the 9/11 Howard Stern show?
No.
Check it out someday. It's educational. Ask anyone in New York City about it, and they're like, it was the greatest bonding moment. It was helping us make sense of everything. He kept saying that what we were all thinking. Then you listen to it, and it's everyone yelling that we need to nuke something, maybe the entire world. Get rid of all the Muslims. Fuck human rights. No investigations. Take their oil. Cherry. We watch it, you study it, you witness it, that specific brand of humor in the face of tragedy, and you understand that nothing outside New York City really exists for the people who live here. Or the vampires. The foundation text, really. Whenever I need to get in that New York mindset of work, I let it play in the background. Works like charm. Seriously, give it a shot sometime.
Someday I might. For now, I think I will confront Vanderweyden with what you told me. Or is it what you haven't told me? What's the story?
Me? Of course I haven't told you anything. You're just a good investigator. You figured it out by yourself. And if he asks, just tell him Kaiser sold you the info. That should do the trick.
I see. Thank you.
What for? I did nothing. Let Nastya show you the way out. And if you don't know Vanderweyden address, just ask her.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Vanderweyden.
No need, no need. I'll be happy to assist your investigation in whatever way I can, Miss Sawinski.
That sickeningly sweet smile. In this office, spacious but oppressive. A man who knows how to subtly unnerve people. Even realize it?
And I'm sure the presence of esteemed Edison Payne will guarantee I'm totally transparent. Am I right, Edison?
Looks like I've interrupted a friendly meeting. In the far corner of the room, I spot glasses of blood and 2 spittoons. Vices and follies of the rich. Are you sure I'm not wasting your time?
Not at all. Bizarre might be, because I'm not curious about the findings in the case.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So, how are you handling your newfound responsibilities?
Managing. I'll start by asking the obvious. Who were you the night Douglas Calihan met his untimely demise? Vanderweyden raises an eyebrow. Lets out a restrained chuckle.
Hear that, Edison? I might be suspected of foul play. Exciting, isn't it?
Carter, no antics, please. Just answer the question.
Of course. Well, I was right here. Just like I told Prince Panhard, as much as I love to celebrate my power, sometimes one has to celebrate the amount of work piling up on their desk.
So your alibi is you were right here.
Alibi? Ha! Yes, I suppose.
Can anyone back up your story?
Well, I did make a few business-related phone calls as I was working, so there's that.
That doesn't really answer my question. He regards me with a stare reserved for a troublesome child.
Miss Sawinski, this right here is my private little fortress. A space specifically designed to make me focus. I don't really let people in to break that focus. Aside from occasional esteemed guests such as yourselves, of course, and a few wonderful Mexican women responsible for the cleaning duties.
So you don't have an alibi? The look in his eyes scream, "Won't you at least pretend to try and get on board with my program, kid?"
I suppose. But why would that matter?
Because I found something that belongs to you on the victim's person.
Pardon me?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
We're not talking a murder weapon or something of that caliber, of course.
No, it was a short list of 4 names, unaffiliated kindred whose services could be useful to anyone interested in toppling the current power balance in NYC. Mecca, Pope, D'Angelo, Agathon.
Excuse me, Miss Sawinski, but I'm afraid I don't follow. How is that something that belongs to me?
I have it on good authority that it's a short list you've been shopping around to anyone interested here in NYC, be it the Camarilla or the Anarchs. Addison tenses up, and his host is not happy about it.
This is just preposterous. I'm calling your bluff right here, miss.
No, the bluff is coming right now. Mr. Vanderweyden, if you want to voice concerns about the information I have, how about you voice them to Kaiser, not me? Addison turns to Vanderweyden, clenching his lips and gripping his wheelchair armrest tightly. For a brief moment, the ever-present smile on Vanderweyden's face goes missing, and the expression that replaces it reminds me of a horrifying void. Like a sneak peek into what's really going on in his soul. He quickly collects himself. The image is burned into my retinas.
To think these sorts of unsavory rumors are circulating around me. I should be grateful you let me know.
You're denying it?
Of course I'm denying it. Categorically. You can bet your life savings on it.
I certainly hope it is nothing more than an unfortunate blunder.
Too brute? Come on, Edison. We've known each other for years.
Yes, what about it?
I will... sweet Jesus, Edison. I will get back to you in a second. Any more questions, Miss Sawinski?
Any of the names on the list sound familiar to you?
No, I mean yes. This is my long-estranged child on your list. But that's just another reason why I'm flabbergasted anyone would consider it mine.
I see. Well, I hope you understand why I'm considering you a prime suspect now.
Yes, and I swear to clear my name as soon as possible. Scout's honor. Any more questions?
I'm good for now. Sheriff Al Esmai will probably contact you later.
I will get in touch with him myself. ASAP. Once again, thank you for your work.
He extends his hand toward me, quickly forcing me to shake it. Then he puts his hand on my shoulder to lead me to the door. Is he eager to see me off? Out of sheer curiosity, Mr. Vanderweyden, I have one more question. It may be a bit random. I really didn't need to ask it, but I wanted him to die inside for a moment.
Of course, my dear.
A slightly strained tone suggests I may have succeeded. You seem like a person who couldn't live outside of NYC. Chance, have you listened to Howard Stern's talk show after the World Trade Center fell? A tad unsure, but once again carefully controlled chuckle escapes his mouth.
Jeez, that is random. But, well... New York, born and raised, just like you said. Of course I did.
Your opinion?
Same as everyone else? It was the spiritual guidance we needed that day, coming from the unlikeliest of places. A visceral response to have verbalized everything we felt. A beautiful moment of unity. Not that I'm into lowbrow jokes about Pamela Anderson and the typical shock value of the show intended to offer, but as far as I'm concerned, Howard did an indispensable thing that day. Why are you asking?
No particular reason. I thought it might give me some insight into the kind of person you are.
Well, that's the kind of person I am. Just your average New Yorker.
Seems. Well then, I'll leave you and Mr. Payne to your plans of conquering the city.
Conquering the... Now that's spicy. Addison, I love this girl. She's gonna go far, I'm telling you. She's got that spunk, that glint in her eye.
Goodbye, Miss Sawinski. Wish you a pleasant respite. A swift success in your investigation.
Good night. I make it a point to bow to Addison's servant, the man himself. Doubt he even noticed, but at least these invisible displays of rebellion make me feel a little better about myself. Alright, the faster I leave, the better.
Julia,
Father,
how are you holding up?
I'm fine. Stumbling around and hoping for a miracle to happen, like always.
No better place to ask for a miracle than behind these gates, you know.
Boy here. As I pass him the report about Aislinn and Agathon, look around, but Benoit's nowhere to be seen. Finally, a one-on-one chat. Feels nice to be able to chat one-on-one for once.
Ah, yes. I knew you'd say that. I had errands to run, and I thought it might be best for Benoit took care of these.
Wasn't in the mood for a childish spat tonight, huh?
Something along those lines. Listen, can't you think of something to placate him?
Placate him how, exactly? Why won't accept anything less than me joining a convent?
He's like a worried parent. A basic gesture here and there, showing up in church from time to time and pretending to listen would get him off your case.
I mean, I've been through this song and dance before with my own worried parents when I was a teenager, wandering in the forest until mass was over, not even being able to smoke because he'd pick up the scent. Not the best moments of my life, you know? Part of the reason I'm distancing myself from them. I need this fake energy in my life, and I'm honestly weirded out by you asking me to lie.
I'm not asking you to lie, Julia. Let me ask you this way. Are you a spiritual person?
I guess I am. Kind of. Always was. Suddenly being able to see ghosts did not change a thing. I think it's mostly because seeing the world as purely material seemed boring to me, somehow.
You are. And you were raised Catholic. So can't you find a way to express that spirituality in our church?
I don't see a way right now.
And why is that?
I sigh. Too many people who think my soul needs to be saved because they live with a woman, for starters. No, there's a lot of reasons. Like the sin of drinking blood every other night, or feeling some primal fear whenever I walk by a clergyman whose face seems to actually be genuine.
That sounds like an excuse. It's about your relationship with God, not other people.
In theory, but back in the old country, I've heard my share of homilies that felt like complete condemnations of my kind, and none that would condemn hate toward people like me. And you know, when church adjacent people try to stir shit around your very existence every few months, some minimal support would be appreciated. Sorry, all you can count on is silent complicity.
I get it. I know there's a lot of work to be done, and a lot of undeserved hurt going around, but...
Listen, I don't even want to talk about it. I fucking hate the tone I use when I talk about it. I sound preachier than those preachers, and my biggest dream is just not to give a shit. But I remember things. This story about a guy from my hometown. This macho guy around with a jaw you could sharpen a knife on. He became an actor in Warsaw. Successful, deservedly so. The capital might not be NYC, but it is still a big city. And big cities go to the heads of bumpkins like us. In his case, it resulted in a dream of coming out to his parents. He was surrounded by all these stories of openly queer people. One even. So we thought he had a chance at making it work. Goes back to his town, tells everyone he's gonna live his truth. His dad, a ruling party adjacent businessman, is him. His uncle takes him into the bushes and starts to destroy him physically. It's so bad he gets put in the ICU. His face and jaw get ruined. Good. Fast forward a year or two, with his career over, the guy is stuck in his parents' rustic house. With no other path to follow, he turns to God. him to forgive his kin. Everything is fine again. Angelic choirs sing of divine mercy. A kind-looking priest talks about protecting our families. A man is in the front row of the church, a disfigured smile on his face. That story alone didn't drive me away. One time, when I saw how blissful he was, I swear he was actually able to hear God whispering to him. The saint. It fucked me up so bad I left. I feel nauseated now. Maybe I'm still reeling up from hearing about Kara and Jesse Montgomery. Now, if we could never talk about it again, that'd be great. I know that I tend to sound like a loser who loves to pontificate about shit I can't change, but I at least keep trying to change myself, damn it.
I won't offer any empty platitudes, but I think I understand what I was meant to understand. I hope I haven't insulted you in any way.
Whatever. Learn not to hold people responsible for what the rest of their organization is doing. Be hard looking in the mirror otherwise. Not that there's much I could see in the mirror right now.
I'm just wondering about one thing. There's always a cross on your chest.
I like how it goes with my outfit.
Is it just a fashionable accessory to you?
Good night, Father. Have a good night, Father. I find her sitting in bed, going through Pinterest on her phone.
Sorry,
Natalie.
Test? Okay, sorry. So how are you doing, Detective?
I fall on the bed, bury my face in the pillows, and scream.
That bad, huh?
I don't want to tell her about Double Spiral. I have to figure out how I feel about it. I'm just not cut out for this.
Oh, shut up. If you aren't, who is?
Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, Columbo, Mads Mikkelsen's boyfriend from Hannibal, whatever his name was, I don't know. One who can actually put two and two together.
You can't fool me into believing you're incompetent, you dumbass. I've read your articles. Don't pretend you suddenly forgot how to do your job.
Haven't, but I've got no evidence, no witnesses, no promising leads, nothing. Stumble around assuming things, talking big. Blah.
So you're like, I don't know, Jack Nicholson in Chinatown? And he actually solved his case.
Then wished he never took it up. Supposed to cheer me up.
I'm just saying that the situation you're in sounds an awful lot like Chinatown. Depraved elites, big plans for the city, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and that's depressing.
It is what it is. I just think you should approach it this way and look for a solution to your problems outside of the box. Not as a mystery, but maybe like a trap to escape.
Maybe. Throw myself on the bed again and lie there for a bit, staring at the ceiling. Then I approach Dakota from behind and tug her sleeve to draw her attention. Hey. Put the phone away.
Now? Come on, Jules. We can't do this every night. I've got my own work. And I need to worry about anemia. You said so yourself. Besides, I was just looking for inspiration.
Up against her clothes with my face like a cat.
You're impossible. Haven't you noticed what's going on in the news? People are going absolutely insane about this virus, canceling trips and orders, and...
Pretty please.
I can't, honey. I have to replenish my stash. And besides, I'm worried about overuse. My brain is working a bit too slow. My balance is off. I was just thinking how I miss meditation.
She She's giving me clear signals she just wants an excuse. Even though it would be the responsible thing to do, I know she's insatiable. She's the one who takes the initiative. Let's try a final push. I bite her ear and whisper in it. No drugs tonight. Let's do this raw. She throws her hands up in the air. Victory!
Jesus, you're greedy these days.
Always have been. Haven't you noticed? Oh, you're up early.
Yeah, told you. Got work to do.
I stretch. That's admirable. Reminds me of that one quote you always used to throw around.
A lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk when you've got kids, and that's not true. You can, but you still gotta get up in the morning. That's being responsible.
That's the one. I never understood why it was so hilarious to you.
Neither did I. I just accepted the mystery and made it my personal credo. I'm a responsible person.
Are you planning to have kids?
Not in a million years. By the way, you've got mail.
An envelope by the door. It's from Qadir. Inside is a message saying he won't be able to make it tonight. Rendezvous tomorrow to meet D'Angelo. I'm gonna lay low until then and stay in this apartment if possible. Apparently, nobody knows where Tamika is. I know she's in trouble and he doesn't want me near it.
Well, what is it?
Got the next lead to investigate. Looks like I need to hit the town. Next lead. Probably useless, but investigation continues.
It would be fun to spend some more time together, you know?
Dakota, you know this is important to me.
I know. But I'd like to know I'm important to you as well.
Makes two of us. Just a few more days, I will find the killer, kick his ass, get a promotion, and we'll do something we've never done before.
Like what?
Good question. I'll think of something. For now, catch up with your work. I need to get going.
Fine. Good luck. Stay safe.
You know it. This place is weirdly empty tonight. Oh well. I'll have the usual. I feel there's a big, what are we doing in this relationship talk coming if I don't change my ways? Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't already happened. But most of the time, Dakota has seemed happy enough just listening to the stories of my unlife. Even if it's all boring and normal to me, it's exotic and engrossing to her. They have that going for me. Oh well. I have no idea what to do tonight, so I'll just do the obvious thing and wing it. It's vagabond shoes, or longing to stray, right through the very heart of it, however it went. Time to lose myself in these busy streets and pray that the answers I'm looking for are out there. And if they're not, maybe I'll at least find some amusement or blood instead.